Hello and welcome to India Post Live, India's first news conversation web portal. What we're going to discuss in this conversation is, of course, about the great match that we saw yesterday. Yes, we're talking about Wimbledon 2014, especially the match that happened yesterday between Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. And joining us in the studio, of course, we have a senior journalist and an old colleague of mine, Vidhanshu. And of course, we've got Parul Goswami, former tennis player. I hope you still get to play more tennis if you can.
Thank you.
And we'll have some people joining us on Skype. But Vidhanshu, I'll start with you first. You know the women's final
Yeah,
and the men's final was sort of a contrast.
opposite. Yeah, exactly. In fact, if you look at the women final, and it was the quickest final since I think 1982 or so, and Petrova lost only 3 games. And compared to that, this match and this Djokovic versus Federer, I think deserves to be called a classic. The way the match was fought, the way it was toe to toe, the way not a single player was there, conceding a point, the hard ways in which the points were earned, and in 5 sets, and for Roger Federer coming back at this level, and many people thought that this guy is finished, and we have seen the last of Federer. I think he served a reminder that you can't have enough of this man, and though he lost, but I think Djokovic, full points to Djokovic for winning this match, but many people thought that Federer
Yeah.
was just there.
He won the hearts and he won the
So,
trophy.
oh wow, what kind of Hollywood movie is that? But that's what happened. It was not like a Rocky movie in which the opponent is down and you are, and after 7 knocks he comes up and then hits back. It was
Yeah.
not like that kind of ending. But Federer, still for Federer, I think he won the hearts. You rightly said that.
Parul, just veering off this match, we'll come back to it. Is it actually was the Wimbledon finals of both men and women? Is it actually reflective of the kind of competition we see in the men's and women's, or was it just a one-off thing? Because it was just one-sided as far as the women's game is concerned.
I think we've seen women tennis also where we had incredible tennis before. As you rightly said, it was one of the things that just happened that she played extremely well, and the Canadian was, she's still coming up.
Yeah,
that was
she's-
like a first final out there. But Roger Federer and Djokovic, I mean, it was incredible tennis. Yes, men, you have to give them a credit. 3 setters, 5 setters they're playing, and it's incredible tennis that they both played. They not only outplayed themselves, they've even outplayed each other, and so beautifully. I mean, this is one of the classic matches
Yeah.
you could ever see.
And the way Serena Williams, the way she lost so early in this tournament, and that, I mean, to come back to your question, that what kind of competition we are saying in this men tennis and women tennis, I think I mean, in the women tennis, they have come off a stage where the new champions have to come in now, have to join the
Yeah,
join the race. Yeah,
They're making way.
yeah,
And they're all losing in first round, second round. I mean, we've seen like even in the previous French Open, we saw the Australian Open winner
Yeah.
crashed out in the first round. So
And Martina Hingis is trying to make a comeback in that in the women's tennis. So that's again, I mean, you can
there's
take
hope
the,
for people like us.
there is hope for people like us that we'll get to see some great tennis once again.
Okay, okay. So we've got some people joining us on Skype. I can see that's Ankit smiling. Ankit, that's a nice toothpaste you use because your teeth absolutely sparkling. Go ahead. What's your take on the final yesterday?
Yeah, my take is that for me as a Roger Federer fan, it was really an emotional moment because I've been supporting him for the last 5 years, watching his every Grand Slam match especially. And for a moment, when I thought that in the fourth set, Djokovic was winning, and again the set went to 7-6 in favor of Federer. So I thought now this is the moment that Federer will win, but in the final set, somehow Djokovic, as he mentioned in his speech after winning, that Federer let him win. He thanked Federer to let him win this game. But I guess Federer is not over yet. I'm really positive, looking for his U.S. Open and for his 18th Grand Slam. So surely Federer would be the greatest tennis player ever on planet.
Okay, 17th. So we're still waiting for 18th. All of us are waiting for 18th. We've also got Prateek joining us on Hangout. Hi, Prateek. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hi.
Hi. So what's with the red T-shirt? Who were you cheering for yesterday?
Well, definitely not Spain because since Spain was not playing. But I was cheering for Roger Federer
Okay.
yesterday, and the Swiss flag also has the red color in it.
Okay.
And talking about the match yesterday and the Wimbledon women's final, I'll first like to talk about the women's final.
Okay.
Uh, as you rightly asked that, is it a one-off thing that this was a complete wipeout by Petra Kvitova against Eugene. She just cleaned the ground with her. A straight set victory 6-3, 6-0. And like Sir said that it's after 1992. It's the first time since Steffi Graf lost. Someone has won the final losing just 3 games or less. And she had 82% first serve points and 4 aces in her game. And the rallies and the attacks, she was both good in defense and while attacking. And she didn't let Eugenie gain the upper hand at all during the rallies. She used the backhands and forehands and was aggressive on the volley, winning 11 net points out of 14.
That's a lot of homework you've done, huh, Prateek?
I was watching the match.
Okay. We'll bring you into the conversation. Parul, if you see the game yesterday, I mean,
Yeah.
in a normal game of tennis, how often is it that you have 25 rallies happening on one point? Like we were watching in the 5th set, especially when it was about 4-all, it went that long.
In fact, I was pretty surprised because for us, we've always thought Wimbledon men, it's like serve and volley. It's
Yeah.
very short points you have. It's women who play 21, 22 rallies. So in fact, women in terms, we were always programmed by our coaches, you have to play long rallies. So that way our patience, stamina was always there. Men, they're outright, they're winners, they're volleys, they're crisp shots. So I was pretty surprised. But then, Djokovic, that's his strength. So he had to play on it. But whereas Federer, he still had chances. He came up, he was playing incredible tennis. I think they both played well. So 21 rallies, it was like, it had all elements of drama out there. So,
Yeah.
it was brilliant tennis.
And Djokovic being a big server, but in this match,
Yeah.
you saw
Federer
Federer
had
out,
more aces.
yes, the aces, the kind of aces. I think in the 30s or so. That's
Yeah,
a huge, incredibly huge number. And
29
that,
aces.
how many?
29.
29.
29.
So yeah, just one less than, and that's almost double of what the other guy Djokovic was hitting. So this again shows that this man Federer still has so much of stamina, so much of power, and to do it for 4 long hours, as you said that the match went on, and also the winners were there, and the way his incredible backhand. I mean, isn't he a treat to watch? I mean, Sanjeev.
No, that is, but I mean, after the game crossed the 3-hour mark, normally you don't have a game crossing 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Parul, age factor? I mean, if
Let's
assume that
no,
you
I
would-
don't think so, and I don't agree with it because if you see Roger Federer moving on court,
yeah,
I mean, you don't even feel he's running around. It was the Djokovic who was slipping around. He was running all over the court. This Federer was so light on his feet. It was like a feather. He was already there every time on the ball. He was hardly running. But
I feel that, I mean, this was his best chance for 18th.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, Nadal crashing out and Murray and the others not doing so well. And I mean, for all his grace and all his style, all his charisma, all the fans around the world, with apologies, yes, you are right in that, yes, age also is catching up with him. I think somewhere down the line, he will also. I mean, he will still win. I mean, the kind of player that he is, he'll still win an odd tournament,
But the
an
Grand
odd
Slams-
Grand Slam, maybe. I mean, he was
Lose it.
pretty close yesterday. I mean,
reaching a
he
final
may. I
in
mean, that's the
Wimbledon.
kind of player he is. He may still win, but I mean, the end of Federer era, we can still say. I
Yeah.
mean, he's not the same player he was 3 years ago, and he was facing Djokovic, who also had a very bad last year. He's
Yeah.
also not in the best prime of his form. A player who was playing really good at this point of time maybe would have tested Federer much more. Having said that, Federer may still win an odd, even Grand Slam, I believe he may still win an odd because he has that in him. He's moved to world number 3, which is a great ranking. He's ahead of Andy Murray now, and Djokovic is back at number 1 and Nadal at number 3. So he may still win it, but yes, the age has caught up with him. We can't deny this fact.
the mental fitness, we'll come to that later. I'll go to Prateek. Prateek, since you're the number cruncher, if we go by the scores between Federer and Joker, uh, it looks, I mean, if you look at it from a numerical point of view, it looks like, Djokovic always had the advantage because, it was Federer who kept pushing him, but it was Djokovic who was always ahead. Doesn't it look like that?
Well, talking of numbers, we mentioned the aces that Federer had 29 aces in the match, and the number of that was pure precision, and the number of unforced errors were also almost equal. Joker had 27 and Federer had 29, but I think the difference lay in the return game. You know, Djokovic 33 return points, whereas Federer had only 108 return points. The Djokovic was able to sustain the pressure longer. Uh, I guess that maybe because of the age factor here.
Okay, so that's an interesting point that he was able to take on that thing. Uh, Ankit, what is your take? I mean, I know that all of us have an emotional, bias towards Federer, but if we talk about the game per se, I mean, doesn't it look like that Djokovic was more like the machine and Federer was more like the man that we wanted to win?
Actually, I agree with Parul on that part that age is just a number for Federer. And he's one guy, he puts his 100% in every game. And Djokovic, I guess, was mentally strong with, Boris Becker as his coach, head coach. So somewhere I thought that he had a plus point in terms of, giving his 100%. And somewhat in the final set, Federer was giving his, I would say he was missing just 1 or 2%, but it was a really good game of tennis, one of the best center court ever witnessed. So it's thumbs up for both the players. So it will and coming back to that, coming back to Sir, what Sir said is that he may win 18th. I'm sure he will win the 18th Grand Slam for sure. I'm damn sure he will win.
Yeah, Sachin Tendulkar will have his 100th century and Roger Federer will have his 18th that way.
Vidhanshu, I mean, if we talk about the whole tournament per se, I mean, it looked like Federer was having an easy time, or was he looking the better player till the final came along?
I think Federer, the kind of matches that he had kind of an easier draw, and also the other big names were falling wayside. We would have had I think a Nadal Federer in the semi-final otherwise, and so those kind of matches were not coming up. So that really helped Federer, and probably also the kind of media, I mean the glare that was on this tournament. I think that was little less as we also had this FIFA going on, and did that help? I don't know. I don't have any stats. I just have an angle that there, with kind of pressure not being there, and Federer really he reveled on that kind of a situation. And what the other thing that I really liked about Federer was the kind of, you see, Djokovic said that I thank Federer for letting me win the match, and Federer on the other hand side was again, he was also very, very graceful in saying, no, you were the better player today. And this is the thing that a true champion should always, look at. Federer is not moved. Whether he loses in the first round, he wins 17th Grand Slam, or he loses in the final in his quest for 18th. He is the kind of person who will give the same answer then and now. So that is the kind of equanimity that you expect from real champions like Federer, and that also touches me more, and his kind of sportsmanship that I hope that the younger generation will look into and imbibe.
Okay, in terms of coaches, like Vidhanshu was saying, both Federer and Joker have not had a good past year, and they've come through, and they've got like new coaches now. So I mean, how important has that been a factor for these two players?
I think coaches do play a very important role. If you've noticed Federer, he's changed his little there are changes in terms of his service, which nobody was expecting because he's already a great server. But the amount of precision, I think that's with some influence of Stefan Edberg there. Same with Djokovic. He's also serving much better to what he was previously. And even Federer has, in the past few years, the forehand was coming up. It was very erratic. It was there was very errors coming from that front, even though that was his strength once upon a time. Then he was approaching to the net less. So these are all I mean, this Wimbledon, he was there on the net like a wall, just like Stefan Edberg. You could see the influence of both the coaches there.
What kind of coaches? I mean, you see Becker and Edberg, and it takes us back to
I
the
remember
80s.
my
yeah?
childhood.
Oh, yes. I mean, 87, 88, 90, the kind of Wimbledon finals these two players had, and what great rivalries. I mean, tennis also, you look at the rivalries that we had. We had between Edberg and Becker in the Grand Slams, and then Sampras and Agassi, and then
Yeah.
Nadal and Federer. And after Nadal, it is Djokovic who has beaten Federer most in terms of the number of games. I think 18 he has beaten. So in that ways, when Stefan Edberg was there and Becker was there for Djokovic, I mean, that also was for me the extra thing. And I remember reading Djokovic, he said that after the semi-final, me say just go, we'll talk later, and he ran. He wanted to watch the Germany match, and he was there rooting for his team. So again, I mean, these kind of, you see, we look at sports person as superhumans, but when you see me, I mean, all of us sometimes bosses give us work and say, oh, please leave us for some time, I want to watch this particular match. And so you say that, okay, these kind of superstars are also so down to earth human beings, and they also have same kind of things. But yes, I think the coaches have made the difference here, and I hope that Edberg and Becker, they do more upon these players, and particularly Federer, because we still want to see his 18th win, I think. Otherwise,
Yeah,
Ankit will be very, very unhappy with all of us.
Yeah. Ankit, talking about coaches, who do you think had the better coach?
On the particular day, of course, Boris Becker with Djokovic. I guess he was the better coach, and he was always cheering him, popping his hair. And I guess there was some positive vibes between them while Djokovic was playing. And I guess he also dedicated his win to his coaches, and the first coach who is not in this world now, so he dedicated this championship trophy to her only. So I guess coaches do play an important role in any sport, whether it's football, tennis, or cricket. So coaches are an integral part of your team. So I guess Boris Becker was a better coach at the end of the day, but I guess Federer too has one of the best tennis coach in the world, and he will bounce very soon. We'll be seeing him, lifting a trophy. Actually, I'm saying again and again because I'm waiting for last 2 years to see Federer win that 18th Grand Slam. So, it's a moment now. It's come like it was Sachin Tendulkar 100. So people and the whole country was waiting for it, and it got after such a long time. So it's the same case with Federer. People are waiting. They are expecting him to win and make a new world record.
Well, let's hope your patience pays off, Ankit. Let's go to Prateek now. Prateek, as far as the coaches are concerned, I thought, Becker was much better, but, what's your take?
I really don't, have anything to say about the coaches. I mean, both have great coaches. They're both legends on their own right. But I guess in the end, the players have to play. I mean, the coaches can coach that much, but and Federer once the ball started rolling.
If you look at the character and the style of the coaches,
I was about to come to
actually
that.
rubbed off on the players. While
Yeah.
in fact, that was a very valid point. So while Stefan Edberg was the Mr. Cool, and,
Yeah,
the
he
cool
was just
customer,
sitting
that's
there
what-
in one pose.
even in his playing days, he was referred
never
to as the-
reacted. He
Yeah,
used
he
to
would
be.
never show off his emotions, and so Federer shows off his emotions, but not probably.
It was only in the end we saw Federer
when he
getting
cries
very-
after he gets that cow when he wins, and he goes back to his country and he gets a cow and he cries. That's where Roger Federer probably shows his emotions, not on the field, not on the court. And on the other hand, Boris Becker was known as the boom
Becker.
ace
And
master.
he would often, I remember a scene, it was I think the 1998 French Open or something, and he was playing against Agassi.
Yeah.
And I think Agassi won that French Open or he lost to Jim Courier, I can't remember exactly, but the game was very funny. I mean, both were good friends, and there was this return that Agassi gave, and the umpire said that it was in. The referee said it was in, and Becker quickly ran to his bag, took out a pair of specs, put it on, and says, "That's out." You know, so I mean,
That
that's
is
the
the
sort
kind
of
of
difference that.
Correct. Yeah. And I mean, you look at that period, even McEnroe with probably we are missing. What's happening, and not only with tennis, probably Parul will answer this better. The competition has become so intense and so close. We are seeing this in FIFA World Cup. We are even seeing in this tennis, maybe a Federer and a Nadal a class apart. But the competition has become so close, and games have become so mechanized. You want to look at, make a player out from the other. I find it more difficult. In the 80s and 90s, in tennis, you had so many characters. You had so many good players coming in. They are good players, but the difference in the style of play, I think you can't make much out of. What would you say?
Well, yes, competition has always been there, and it's in fact it's just growing, and with more technologies are even coming in sports. There's so much that they're doing now. As he rightly said, the coaches, they can just guide you. I mean, you already all said they can just influence you, they can just motivate you. Probably a changes here and there a bit, but a part of that, the platform is already set. And it's been set of so many years of hard work. And yes, with the whole new set of coaches, the new coaching styles, the
Yeah,
new
it's coming to that.
technologies, different sets, there are different experiments every day with fitness regimes and everything. Your whole involvement of a dietitian. So there's a whole team. Previously, a player, and their bond was also very strong. See, like how Djokovic said, "I owe it to my first coach." Today we have so many coaches, so you keep shuffling from one to the other. Secondly, you have whole set of trainers. You have your gym trainer, you have a trainer, you have a dietitian, you have your own doctor, you have your own. So there's a whole team. So it's just not one person anymore.
Also, Vedanshu, I mean, is this a new trend that we're seeing? I mean, starting with Andy Murray, first he got Lendl on. I mean, all these former, stars are now becoming coaches. Is it a recent trend, or and whether it's good for the game or not?
See, there were, players earlier also who took up coaching, but what we are seeing a generation of players, Lendl, Becker, Edberg, playing at the same time and had some great rivalries there. And Ivan Lendl on the clay court in French Open was unbeatable for 9. I mean, what a kind of player he was. And so I think this is a good trend because not only these players bring in great level of experience, they also bring on their own style and charisma. So I think this is a welcoming trend because players of Federer and Nadal's class, or even Djokovic, they don't need so much of change in their techniques. The only thing that they need is particularly maybe a mindset or how to go against.
Mentally strong.
In there, how to approach these big games if they need to. And I think here, these kind of players who have same kind of background, same kind of legacy, I'm sure they're going to help. So maybe we are waiting for Peter Sampras and Andre Agassi to come in.
Pratik, there was a point in the game when both were and 4 games tied. At that point of time, perhaps it looked like there was more frustration on Djokovic's face than it was on Federer. So I mean, and from then on, the game suddenly changed.
Yeah, I think I guess you're talking about fifth set.
Yeah.
Fourth
So,
set.
the
You're
fourth
talking
set or
about the
fifth
fourth
set?
set. Fourth set.
No,
The
I'm talking about
3 break points. Are you
no.
talking
I'm
about-
talking about the 5th set when they were 4-all.
Okay. Yeah.
At that point of time, Djoko was actually getting very serious.
I guess Federer made 2 untimely errors that time, so I guess that was when the game simply changed.
On a scale of what would be your rating for the final?
It is 10 out of 10. Final. Witness a final like this, and just on the other side, players like Rafael Nadal who was out in the tournament, and in the women Maria Sharapova. But there were many tweets and funny messages coming around that after she doesn't know Sachin, he's out of the tournament. So that was like, if you don't know the god of cricket, you won't be surviving tennis also.
Yeah.
That was on the party side. But on the men's final, it was 10 out of 10 performance by both the players, and
Okay, thanks so much, Ankit. Thanks for joining in the conversation, and Prateek, you too.
Welcome.
Thanks for joining into the conversation. Final comments, Parul. I mean, are we going to see a match like this ever again?
For sure.
Yeah?
I mean,
Between these two?
between these two, you know, a lot depends come again. But I would want to see again Roger Federer and Djokovic next year on Wimbledon, and this time Federer taking it. Because he simply, I thought he deserved it, especially after the fourth set. It
Yeah,
was
I
an
mean, that
incredible
was-
set. I mean, that man won 5 games in a row. I mean, it's strange when people say I'm in under too much stress. I mean, I can't even explain you what stress is when you are 5-3, 5-2 serving and you're not able to win just 2 points, you know, just one more point because he just had a match point. So
Yeah.
that time, your hands and your legs, they don't do anything. And the other person is like, I'm half done, yeah, just take it away. And you know, but he's still fighting back and he's still winning. So that moment I thought Djokovic was gone. But coming back and seeing that 5th set, incredible. You hats off to him, but I would still, again, as Ankit said, 18th and the 8th Wimbledon title I would want to see from Roger
Yeah,
Federer.
I think people are waiting to see that. This match will definitely go down as a classic. The kind of ups and downs we saw, and the kind of players, the characters that were involved. I was also reminded of a match between the same two players, French Open semi-final 3-4 years ago, and the kind of attrition that these players had. Augurs well for them because it has boosted the confidence of both the players, and I hope to see a very good US Open now.
You know, I have a different take why Roger Federer lost.
What?
Yeah.
So perhaps he also didn't.
It's very
how-
sad.
no.
I don't blame Sharapova
But-
for
but
this.
he
But it's sad
knew
that
Sachin
people are
Tendulkar, yeah.
lashing over her because
Yeah.
see how many countries play cricket.
Yeah.
That also Indian subcontinent, few countries, and this is the entire world is playing tennis. So
Uh,
I don't blame her if she says, "Who is he?"
I know.
And
And
I have
And
Roger
it's so-
Federer paid the price.
And it's so sad when people are actually saying, "How can she do that?" And there are articles being written, "We don't need her certification." It's sad, but this is somewhere it's telling us that cricket is not important for the
Yeah.
world. It's just for us, probably it's so big sport, but rest of the country, it's not much.
Yeah.
So she's not to be blamed for it.
Well, of course, no. And Vedanshu for joining us.
Thank you.
And
Sanjeev.
Ankit and Prateek, thanks so much for joining in the conversation. So there you have it. It was a great game. It was a classic. It was a thriller. And the general consensus is that they should have another game, and Federer perhaps should get his 18th Grand Slam title. So thanks so much for watching. You can also join in our conversations by logging on to India Post Live. If you want to send us your feedback, our Twitter handle is India Post Live. Thanks so much for watching, and more conversations will continue on India Post Live.